So let's move on to that next step, right? Which we're going to call the need step. Now, I think need step is probably where you should spend most of your time working on it. Obviously, you're going to talk about the why. You're going to spend a few days on, hey, why we do it? Probably that's going to be fairly obvious to you. And then you're going to talk about the challenges, right? Okay, well, we're looking at this, this, and this, right? But when you're talking about the challenges, that's pretty much going to define what your needs start to do for you. Now, I'm going to go into more detail on this because I think this is where you're going to need to spend most of your time in order to find the right software for you. Okay. So I'm not saying one software is going to solve all your problems, but if you've got a nagging area within your construction business that needs help, then spending your time and your needs is going to be where you want to spend most of your time to get the best results. So first of all, you're going to map your core processes, right? Core processes in construction, there are three areas that we're going to go through here in just a second that I want to talk about. There's the pre-construction process, right? There's the construction process, and then there's post-construction, right? That's kind of that job-oriented look. So I have a job that I just sold, right? Or I'm looking to sell. I've got a pre-construction process that I've got to go through. Maybe there's some areas there where we've got some bottlenecks that we need some help software-wise. In the construction process, I'm sure there's tons of areas in project management, construction management, payroll, those types of things where you need to be able to streamline some of those. So there's areas there. All right. What you want to be looking for maybe is something that integrates maybe some current software that you have that can help, move that along, make that software that much better. Okay. But you need to map out those core processes. The last process of obviously in construction is that post-construction when you're starting to close out work and doing punch lists and doing those kind of things. Well, will your software help you get there what you need? So again, map out your processes, and then you can kind of pinpoint the areas where you're seeing bottlenecks, maybe areas where you need help. Second is you're going to talk about your objective from this, right? You're going to notice that you've got areas where you need help and say, what is the objective? What are we trying to achieve with said software? Or if I'm looking at a problem, what's the objective? How the solution to that problem resides in this objective, right? So you need to set that, right? You're going to set specific goals. Obviously, these are going to tie back to your why. They're going to be related to your challenges. And then you're going to evaluate each one of those different softwares. So you're probably going to pick 3, maybe 5. I probably wouldn't do more than that because, again, you'll get bogged down in paralysis by analysis. So I would say pick your best 3, right? You're going to evaluate 3, and then you're going to choose one out of those 3. You can spend a lot of time. You can spend a ton of time going out researching more products, right? And it is going to drive you crazy, right? So try to narrow it down to your best 3, right? And again, I'm not saying that there may not be a better software out there, but again, the time that you spend in this, it becomes a diminishing returns if you spend way too much time. And then also within that, see if there's key features that maybe one software might be working great, and maybe there's some features in there that moves over into multiple departments where then it really does start to encompass a whole problem, right? And really solves problems for a bunch of different people. So you might be able to find that as well. But do your research and get it down to your 3 and then evaluate. All right. So let's talk about construction in general, though. All right. Because if you're mapping out your processes, right, sometimes your processes look like this. It's like a bunch of little gears all over the place that are kind of maybe not running together, right? Maybe your business development is lagging, some part of their sales process is lagging, needs some help there, right? Or quite honestly, your bidding or estimating department needs a little bit of help. It's over here working. Well, maybe we need better contract negotiation and maybe looking at the details. There's quite a few products coming out now that do great jobs at looking at contracts and helping with scope and things like that. And then, of course, you've got your pre-construction planning, which are feasibility studies. Feasibility studies are very, very important, right? Because sometimes there are jobs you may not be able to do, or they're not cost effective to do. Maybe you need some help with that. Maybe the software that you're looking for is in there. But again, you want these things. Maybe that's a narrow scope, or maybe you can find something that has a broader scope that helps with these areas, to make this communication better. Maybe you're helping with project design with a BIM application, permitting and compliance, zoning, safety, regulatory. So all these different steps are in that kind of pre-construction area. So we want to be able to organize those so they're all communicating well together. Maybe that software is you're looking for. And then you move into the construction portion of your job, right? This is kind of the meat and potatoes area, right? Where the job is really getting done, right? You've got to mobilize your stuff. You got to get your signage out there. You got to temp structures, electrical. You get ready to start to, so soil tests are then all done. Now you're getting ready to start really, digging foundation, pouring piers, doing things like that. Then you've got, your labor management that's all involved with that. Many different areas in construction. And this is why when software comes into play and we start talking about things that help the processes of construction, well, I've already mentioned a whole list of things that may have totally different functionality, but are absolute necessities when it comes to completing a complex construction job. And one software may not be the absolute solution to that, right? One software probably won't do all that. There may be multiples. Well, if we're picking softwares and we're trying to get things integrated so where there's no more data silos, right? We're going to want to pick something that pulls it all together. Like a good project management software may not cover some of the things that are going on within the bidding process, right? But it may be able to communicate with what you're using in bidding. And so those are the things that you're going to have to be deciding on as you're evaluating your needs, right? Obviously, if you can get the correct gear in the right place from your software to help things move along, it's going to be much better for you. And then when we move into core processes here, as far as post-construction, you get down to the end of the job. Everybody knows that a punch list sometimes seems to go on forever and ever. Maybe you need some help with that. Maybe you need some help with just getting things commissioned, everything started up, running correctly, tested. Everything's working within tolerance, handoff to the client, those types of things. And then, of course, you may need some stuff. I don't know how many things I've listed here, 15, almost 20 maybe, of items that are maybe totally separate applications within the construction process, right? Or pre-post, all the construction industry. And you think one software is going to solve all that? Probably not, right? So you're going to want to figure out a way to get this software integrated so that it speaks to one another so that you can have a system that runs together, right? Get all the gears in place so everything's moving in the right direction. And that's what you're kind of looking for.